Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Severe storms have started to fire up in the last couple of hours. Meteorologist Evan Hatter has the very latest as our severe weather alert day continues. Evan?
That's right, Steve. Several severe thunderstorm warnings right now in effect in the mountains. We only have 2 counties under a severe thunderstorm watch, but these storms are packing a bit of a punch. Outside right now from London Corbin Airport, plenty of rain has fallen on the runway now. You can see those storms kind of moving on through. Moving right on top of the airport. As a matter of fact, that 86, that temperature is going to go down here in the next little bit. Level 2 slight risk for severe weather in effect for just about everybody, and we have several severe thunderstorm warnings in effect right now. In fact, we've got 4 of them. We'll break down here exactly what we've got, and I'll put the information on some of these. Let's move down into portions of Wayne, McCreary, into Pulaski and Laurel and Whitley counties. That's several severe thunderstorm warnings, 2 of them as a matter of fact. Gusty winds and heavy rain, the main threats, both of those. The one for Knox, Laurel, McCreary, Pulaski, Wayne, and Whitley runs till 5:45. The one for Wayne and McCreary runs until 6 o'clock. We have one for portions of Knott, Magoffin, and Floyd counties. That one will run until about, let's say, 5:45, and that one has the potential for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. 6 o'clock for Logan County, West Virginia. That one's headed toward Robinette, and it's got some large hail with it. Everything continuing to push on off to the east and southeast, but here's the thing. Once this front moves through, we're done with the severe weather threat for tonight. So this is not a long-term thing, but we have to keep an eye out as we head through the evening. I'll have the very latest on when these storms move out and when the heat moves back in. That's coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. New laws are set to take effect Thursday from issues discussed in this year's General Assembly. One could change the punishment for people caught stealing packages from doorsteps and porches. Senate Bill 23 was designed to cut down on porch pirating. WYMT's Phil Pendleton spoke to several police agencies about the issue.
Police in Danville and Stanford say that it has been a common complaint, usually around the holidays or during times when packages frequently are being delivered.
A lot of times when we get them, you know, people have arrived home and expecting a package. They know it's there, or they've already seen online that it's been delivered, and they get home and it's gone.
They were victims of porch pirates, and that crime in Kentucky has only been a misdemeanor. That changes to a felony with Senate Bill 23, which easily became law during this past year's session of the General Assembly.
That no matter what's in that package, if it's something that's worth $5 and you've taken off a porch, you know, you could be convicted of a felony.
It hasn't happened here, but in some larger cities, these thefts have become so widespread that organized crime has even gotten involved.
Some delivery drivers say they've been followed when they made deliveries, and that's even been in rural areas.
Some of them are they just happen to be walking by and see a package and they'll go pick it up. Maybe that'll make them think a little harder about that for those types of crimes.
I know we've had some incidents of people going up that may be looking to perpetrate these type of crimes and knock on the door to see if anybody would be home and then take the package. And then if somebody was home, they'd make up a story. You know, they were lost or looking for something or came to the wrong house.
Police say the best deterrent is to have scheduled deliveries or have the package delivered to someone at home or at another location. In Boyle County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
The new law also makes it a felony to destroy someone's mail matter. The Professional Golf Association confirms it's being investigated by the U.S. Justice Department. A PGA spokesman says the probe is over potential antitrust violations in connection with Live Golf. Live Golf is backed by Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, and the golfers who took part in its controversial Golf Invitational Series were suspended from future PGA tours. Last month, Live Golf issued a statement saying the PGA's move was, quote, vindictive. PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan says his institution cannot compete with what he called a foreign monarchy that is spending billions of dollars in an attempt to buy the game of golf. So far, there's been no comment from the Justice Department, and Live Golf declined to comment. The inmate who escaped from an Alabama jail with a corrections officer has been indicted for felony murder in her death. Investigators believe Casey White and Vicky White, who are not related, met at the jail where she worked, developed a romantic relationship, and planned an escape. Authorities say he fatally shot her in the head after their escape in April. He was captured in Indiana after an 11-day manhunt. Casey White has already been charged with first-degree escape in the jailbreak. He also faces a capital murder charge in the 2015 killing of Connie Ridgway. The CDC found that the number of people who die from antimicrobial resistant infections in 2020 was up 15%. The CDC reports nearly 40% of those deaths were among people who got infected in the hospital. Some of the reasons why could be hospitals were treating more and sicker patients, staffing shortages, limited personal protective equipment, and patients that required longer stays and longer use of medical devices such as catheters and ventilators. That all created challenges in following established infection prevention and control guidance. Both houses of Congress are addressing the issue of abortion today in the wake of last month's Supreme Court ruling overturning Roe v. Wade, the 1973 decision that said women have a constitutional right to abortion. CBS's Serena Marshall reports from the White House.
For the first time since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, the Senate is back and hearing from those impacted by the decision.
We are already seeing mass chaos,
including Planned Parenthood doctor Colleen McNicholas, who told lawmakers she's already seen the harm.
Lupus, arthritis, cancer, medications that we use frequently to control those conditions are being denied to patients because they might also contribute to miscarriage or can be used for abortion and other indications.
Witnesses on both sides of the issue testified before the Senate Judiciary Committee about the ramifications of the Dobbs decision.
For the first time in half a century, the people, through our elected representatives, have the legal authority to affirm the dignity of women and fully protect unborn babies.
Already abortion is banned in 10 states. Illinois' lieutenant governor testified about the impact of neighboring states restricting access.
The number of out-of-state patients has doubled since Roe v. Wade was overturned.
The hearing comes just days after President Biden signed an executive order aimed at protecting reproductive health services, while admitting there are limits to what he can do without Congress.
On Tuesday, a House Rules Committee took up the Women's Health Protection Act, which would codify the right to an abortion. A second bill would ban states from interfering with someone's right to travel to another state to get the procedure.
These bills make clear that we are going to fight tooth and nail.
Neither bill, however, is likely to clear the Senate and make it to the president's desk. Serena Marshall, CBS News, the White House.
Yesterday, President Biden told hospitals that under federal law, they must provide abortion services if the life of the mother is at risk, even in states that now ban the procedure without any exceptions. The number of Google searches for the word vasectomy peaked just one day after the Supreme Court's ruling last month. Urologist Doug Stein says he calls patients who are under 30 or do not have children to discuss whether they are 100% sure they want a vasectomy. The two-doctor practice where Stein works performs 6 vasectomies an hour in most days. The procedure, which blocks sperm from entering semen, is outpatient and takes about 10 minutes with about a 2-day recovery, as opposed to a female tubal ligation, which is riskier and much more invasive.
We generally see about 12% in our practice men who are child-free. And then we generally see about 12% of men who are under the age of 30. But the number of both young and child-free nearly doubled.
While vasectomies are reversible, not all reversals are successful. It's something Dr. Stein stresses to his growing number of patients. He said his office is booked through August, which is as far in advance as they've been booked before. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, NASA's new Webb telescope releases its first images from the deep universe, and they're pretty incredible.
Plus heat, humidity, and sunshine all returning to the forecast as we head through the rest of the work week. The very latest breakdown is on the way next.